I'm Garry Brown, front of house engineer for PHISH. We're here at Madison Square Garden, third night of our fall tour. First started using the Waves with Cyndi Lauper. So that would have been 3 years ago. Just downloaded the demo package. Was in Australia, stuck it on the C4 on a vocal, and loved it. But I suppose changing from analog to the digital consoles, I suppose really for me in the live context was more budget driven. When you're on a tour and there's 4 bands, you can't really have, having multiple consoles obviously is an expense. So switching to digital was obviously the simpler way to go while doing a tour. I started doing Trey back in 2004. Eighth Day Sound, the audio vendor, had me go out as a tech just to cover a 1 week run with the Stones. Then the production manager asked me to stay on for the tour, and then they liked me, and I was asked back to mix Trey. So I suppose it's just a continuation of Trey into PHISH is, I suppose, the way it flows. Having the availability of multi-rack come up was superb. I had snapshots for every song, so having the ability to obviously do all the storing things, changing your effects for every song, I think that's probably for me the biggest thing. Physically putting the thing together, I suppose, is a lot simpler. Like obviously we got an RME MADI face, and it's just a simple connection to the console. It's a laptop, so yeah, I haven't got 11 physical units sitting there now anymore. So it's even though I have a rack of stuff sitting here, but it's space is a premium, and front of house we've been squeezed on space. It's not like we're sitting here with loads of space because they want to sell more seats. Basically, I have up here C4, which is on the bass guitar. I've actually the setting I have set up right now is what I ended up using at Festival 8, the festival that PHISH just did in California. As you can see, it's actually, I suppose the shape of it is quite weird in that I'm compressing quite the low end of the bass guitar, and I'm lifting the high bass, low mid of the guitar, just expanding that a little bit, then compressing a bit of the pick noise area, and then expanding again the top section of the bass guitar. This setting is what I found worked in the context of the mix at the festival. So we're outdoors, no acoustics. That's the kind of thing you can't get any better. Coming back to arenas, this didn't work, so I actually had to go back and change it, and it's a really generic setting now, where really it's just pretty much compressing the low end. And I actually probably changes quite a bit. The threshold I changed quite a lot on the whole thing, and not actually on the low end as well. But really, it's what this plugin has given me, especially on bass, is the flexibility to really manipulate the sound to get what I need to work within the context of the mix. So, like obviously here, lifting things, but then on the arena setting, it's just pretty much just a mellowing of the low end, just to help this sit better in a room. The usage of multi-rack and the Waves plugins within my signal path, like on the piano actually has it's got 3 microphones inside it, and it's got a pickup inside it. For the use of the reverb, I'm actually using the pickup. Obviously, with 2 microphones, when you've got a rock band on stage, the microphones get a lot of low end in them, so you can't really use them in terms of the signal path of the reverb. So the pickup is the fundamental thing to drive the reverb. So obviously that's coming out of an aux send through the MADI interface into the laptop, into the multi-rack, doing its thing in there, then coming back into the console on channels next to the actual piano faders. So in terms of bass guitar, obviously I'm inserting the Renaissance compressor and a C4. I don't think is there any sample delays on the Renaissance compressor, but I know on the C4 there's like 65 samples. But in terms of latency within the whole thing, having the latency on it is actually probably a good thing, because it actually means that it's coming a little bit later than everything else. So it's actually probably making the bass sound a bit tighter, even though in theory I don't want the latency, but we're in a live gig and there's 20 microphones up there picking up the bass guitar. Here we have a true verb, using it on the drums, sending basically on the console on an aux, just a mono send into multi-rack with a stereo return. Pretty much, why am I using True Verb? I suppose the answer is because I can use True Verb. I suppose I wanted to have different, in my mind I'd say reverb planes, but I don't know if that's really the correct terminology, but I'm using True Verb on drums, I'm using Renaissance Verb on piano and vocals, so it's just a different kind of space. I suppose it's really why I've chosen different settings. Getting multi-rack and getting the waves back, I felt my mix became more complete again.